Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Gen Politics. So, this has been an interesting week for Biden. He has pardoned his son, fled to Africa, promised him $1 billion with much more on the way, and continues to ramp up the war in Ukraine. This is part of his speech from this week where he was in Africa talking about all the things he wants to give them while the American people still suffer at home.
The United States continues to be the world's largest provider of humanitarian aid and development assistance. And that's going to increase. That's the right thing for the wealthiest nation in the world to do. And today, I'm announcing over $1 billion in new humanitarian support for Africans displaced from homes by historic droughts and food insecurity. We know African leaders and citizens are seeking more than just aid. You seek investment. So the United States is expanding our relationship all across Africa, from assistance to aid, to investment to trade, moving from patrons to partners, to help bridge the infrastructure gap.
So he wants to give Africa $1 billion with much more on the way. We have to do even more for Africa, more for the countries around the world, but not enough for Americans at home. Nikki Haley actually made a good point on this on X, saying, "This is infuriating. After pardoning his son and fleeing to Africa, Biden gives $1 billion of our tax dollars to rebuild homes in Africa when we still have people homeless from the hurricane, completely tone deaf and insulting." And it's true. We still have people who don't have homes from the hurricane. And what about the people in Hawaii who were suffering from that natural disaster? What about just the general homeless population we have in the United States, a problem that's increasing year by year? What about the cost of living that's going to drive more people to be homeless or have to be renters forever, share housing, multiple family housing? This is a complete disaster. And that's just housing. What about all the other issues that America's facing? We don't have the luxury anymore of giving all of our money overseas. Because remember, you're last. America's last in the Biden administration. America's last to the Democrats. And we always have been and we always will be. They want to give our money to literally anybody for any reason except for the American people to survive. That is the least important thing for them, is for the American people to have cheap food, cheap gas, cheap groceries, have the ability to maintain what used to be the requirements of a first world lifestyle. They don't want them to have that anymore. They don't want you to be first world citizens. They want you to be third world citizens. They want to destroy the economy and make you indebted to them, wage slaves forever. That's the whole point. That's the plan. And not only are they not going to give you anything, they're going to take everything from you and give it to somebody else and then point and laugh at you, and because they think it's hilarious. Much more on the way for Africa. Much more for everyone else in the world except for you. And in the final days of the Biden administration, he continues to do these insane policies like this. Things that are unpopular. Things that are really waking up the American people to how the government is totally separate from the will of the people. All over the world, we feel it's our responsibility to do anything anybody asks of us. We're a doormat. Although we, in principle and in name, are the most powerful country in the world, we are beholden to everybody. We don't give anything to our own citizens unless we have to get their vote. And other than that, they can be ignored the rest of the time. 3.5 out of 4 years, there's no point in helping the American citizens. And this has been the case for a long, long time. And it's not only a Democrat issue. Remember, the Republicans needing to spend all the money on war, start new wars, send more money than God has over to Israel every single year. This is kind of a generational issue because the boomers and the older generations had money to spare. They lived in affluent times. And so they were much more willing to give our money away to whoever asked. But now, when people are struggling just to make it in America anymore, the younger generations, they don't feel a sense of responsibility for the rest of the world because there's never been one. There's never been a responsibility. If you're doing well, you can be merciful, you can be charitable, you can help other places. But right now, we're not doing well. And we have to get our house in order first. Most primary reason of all is financially. We need to get our finances in order before we can help anybody else. We have the massive debt problem. We have the massive inflation problem. We have, like I said, the massive homeless problem, our infrastructure problem. America is just dilapidating on all these different sectors. And that's just monetarily, not even talking about culturally, not even talking about militarily, not even talking about politically. Like, it's purely economically, America is floundering now. And we're going to get pushed out by other countries if we continue to do what we're doing. If we continue to cut off our arms and legs and hand them out like gifts, we are going to be left dead on the side of the road as a country. That's what's going to happen. China's going to destroy us. BRICS is going to replace us. I know people say that's fantastical, but America can't be on top forever if we continue to do everything in our power to limit ourselves, to handicap ourselves. And America is going to persist for a while, but the problem is it will all collapse all at once. And that's the thing is we thought America was invulnerable. We can do whatever we want to it, and we have manifested this destiny to be great. And there's nothing we can do to mess it up. Well, there is, and we've been doing it for a long, long time. It's just we were so great and so powerful that it hasn't all caught up till this one moment. But it's really starting to. And so when we're promising $1 billion here and another $1 billion there and all over the world, things are going to get worse and worse and worse. And eventually we're going to hit a limit where we can't come back from. And that's what we're really, really close to. And I think that's why the American people chose Trump, is because they want him to get things back in order, both federally, financially, but also domestically in their own lives. Things have gotten so out of control with the pricing. So Biden has decided to end his days by doing things that nobody has asked for, diminishing his popularity more and more. And the Democrats don't seem to get why they lost still. And this is part of the reason. Americans want to be put first. They want their issues pushed first. Whether they're left or right, the Americans want the American issues at the forefront. And they don't want to see all our resources going to places all over the world. I mean, look at like Mayor Adams. He's a Democrat that's becoming more reasonable because he understands the effect of having millions and millions of people come into the United States unvetted, use our systems, and we're funneling money into something that does not benefit us in any way, shape, or form. And so he's saying we got to put Americans first. Yes, he's a Democrat. Yes, he's on the left, but he understands that if we want to have any semblance of a cohesive society, if we want to have any prosperity in America, if we want the luxury to push social issues which come after financial stability, then we need to get our ducks in a row as a country. And I think more and more Democrats are realizing that. Republicans, obviously, through the MAGA shift over the last decade, have realized that. And they're pushing out the neocons who want to, again, use our money for issues that do not benefit America, whether that's war or spreading democracy where people don't want it. These are things that are unpopular with the majority of people on the right, especially the youth. And I think the same thing's going to happen on the left, where they do not want to see their money going to random countries for no reason. They don't want to see $1 billion going to Africa when people are homeless in the United States. It's not a popular position to have on either side of the aisle. So I'm looking forward to the Trump presidency because I think he's going to clean all this stuff up. I think people have realized that Biden and his administration have totally failed across the board, that these things are not the future of America, these policies, the fact that we can give and give and give and give to the point where we're just ruining ourselves in the process. This is not something that is sustainable, and it's not something that's popular, and it's not something that will continue on to the future, as proven by the fact that Trump was elected president. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad that Biden only has 2 months left, but the shenanigans he'll pull off, I think, will be increasingly damaging to the country, including the things of ramping up issues to World War III and now trying to give away as much money as possible in the final hours. I think these things are not going to be beneficial, and they're problems that Trump is going to have to clean up immediately. But luckily, his time is limited. I think the Democrats need time to recoup. I think they realize that these policies are unpopular, and it's time for generations to change hands, to pass the baton, and maybe we can have some more unity among generational lines and ideas than party lines. So that's my thoughts on this. If you like the video, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and thank you for watching.